During the Cold War was a nuclear arms race between the U.S. and Russia. The U.S. joined in 1945 and Russia in 1949.
Come on, man.
The first hydrogen bomb was created by the U.S. in 1952, and shortly after, Russia produced an H-bomb in 1952. Russia and the U.S. continued to make bombs in order to outshine each other. The Cuban Missile Crisis. In 1961, John F. Kennedy trained Cuban exiles and sent them ashore in Cuba to overthrow Castro. But unfortunately, they were captured and the mission failed. In response to this, Russia sent missiles to Cuba, and this freaked out the U.S., and they surrounded Cuba with naval ships. Kennedy demanded the Soviet Union to remove the missiles, and they agreed, and war was averted. By 1961, both countries had produced enough bombs to destroy Earth. The U.S. had 2.6 million troops, 13,000 tanks, and 10,750 artillery. Russia, 14 million troops, 42,500 tanks, and 31,500 artillery. In 1981, the U.S. had 8,000 ICBMs and 4,000 nuclear Russia had 7,000 ICBMs and 5,000 nuclear. By 1986, 40,000 nuclear warheads were in the world, which equaled 1 million Hiroshima bombs. In 1963, when NATO and the Warsaw Pact realized how dangerous all of these weapons could be, all of the countries came together and started to propose and pass treaties to limit creation and the possession of certain missiles. In 1963, the Nuclear Test Ban Treaty was passed, which banned testing of nuclear weapons in the atmosphere. In 1972, the SALT I Interim Agreement was passed, which froze the existing number of weapons held by each side. Also in 1972, the SALT I Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty was passed, which set strict limits on missiles that could shoot down missiles from the other side. In 1979, the SALT II Treaty was passed, which set absolute limit on number of weapons each side could hold. And lastly, in 1991, the START Treaty was passed, which required both sides to reduce the number of weapons each held. Once all the treaties were settled, the arms race was over, and the scare between countries had ended.